Well, let's get you updated here on the current market prices, and then want to venture to the Mid-Atlantic states region there in just a moment. Right now on the corn market in Chicago, well, we have the March contract still trading 3/4 higher at 369 1/4. Hasn't ventured very far. July up a penny at 386. Soybean trade this morning, we have the March contract now 3.5 higher at 1037 3/4, and July up 3.5 at 1058 3/4. It had been a little bit weaker overnight, and keep in mind these March contracts go into delivery starting tomorrow. All right, on the wheat trade, big moves in the wheat this morning. Chicago wheat had March 5 1/4 higher now at 464 3/4. July up 4 1/4. Kansas City wheat, we have the March contract there now trading 9 higher at 486 3/4, and even that is about 3 cents off its earlier high this morning. July now 8 1/4 higher. On the Minneapolis wheat trade, on the spring wheat, we have March 2 higher at 598 and July 2 higher at 621 3/4. Meanwhile, on the cotton market, we have the March now trading 4 points higher at 81.74. Meanwhile, new crop December down 11 at 76.76. as the spread widens out a little more once again today. All right, let's go to the East Coast. In fact, let's go to Whitehall, Maryland, and visit with Ben Hushon. He's with the Mill, and he rejoins us right now. And Ben, I understand you've had more of a rainy season here recently, or a moisture-laden season there where you are.
Good morning, Marlin. It really has been a roller coaster since we talked last Tuesday. We've had 5 out of the last 7 days, measurable rain. In fact, twice last week. Just like Tim Ross said, we got into the mid-70s. And, of course, part of the roller coaster is it was 25 degrees this morning. But one thing we found last week for sure, the frost is gone. So it's going to be a challenge to get in. I hear the wheat prices are going up. It's going to be a challenge to get that first application of fertilizer on this spring.
Are they able to put that on now?
Well, I was out this morning up in York County, Pennsylvania, at Belview Farms, Delta, Pennsylvania, which is the Gemmill family, looking at some of their fields and looking around to see. We're going to take a swing at trying to go tomorrow morning, but I don't know if you can remember, just 1 week ago, and for the viewers, you'll be able to see, a week ago, we didn't have any signs of green up. And that the video I sent in this morning, it has greened up incredibly. So it's time. The plant's telling you that it's time to get that first shot of nitrogen on. And on top of that, Maryland normally doesn't let us start putting fertilizer on until March 1st. They made the announcement last week that we could start 3 days early. We could get started yesterday. So guys are ready, but it's going to be really questionable whether we can get on the fields here before the next storm rolls in Thursday and Friday. But everybody's going to try. A lot of fertilizer being loaded up today, but nobody's in the field today that I could find.
All right. Last you've heard from talking with farmers around that local area there, are they pretty much sticking with their normal seasonal rotation, or are they going to change this year?
Generally, they will. There's been a few folks, in fact, the last 2-3 weeks, we've had a lot of knowledge sessions. That's what we call our grower meetings. And talking to those fellas, they've run the numbers. A couple people are going to stay a little heavier bean, but they're pretty committed. The grain growers are pretty committed in our part of the world to their crop rotation between corn and beans, and some still throwing wheat into the mix, of course.
All right. Well, Ben, thanks for the conversation, and appreciate the video you sent in, too. That wheat must think it's spring already there with all the rain. Appreciate that. Ben Hushon of the Mill. He's based in Whitehall, Maryland, and we will come back in just a moment. I'll run down your livestock prices for you when we come back. Well, let's take a look at our market action here and get you updated at the present time on the livestock trade. Here we go with a look at our live cattle board. And remember yesterday how we had the market close under pressure all across the cattle and hog complex? Well, now that's a distant memory because everything is showing triple-digit gains today. Here we go again in this choppy atmosphere in the cattle market. So let's begin. On the live cattle, we have the nearby February contract trading at 128.55. And by the way, I'll remind you the last trading day on that one is tomorrow, the end of the trading month. Now, the February is trading $1.15 higher than where we closed yesterday. The most active, of course, will be your April contract, and that is up $1.62 right now. We're trading at 125.62, and that's only now 125.52, so it ticked about a dime lower there. We're within about 15 cents of our high of the day right now. You have your June contract at 117.50, and that would be up $1.30. We're within a dime of our high of the day there. Meanwhile, over on the feeder cattle side, this is the one that had bull spreading taking place most of the day yesterday until it got late in the session, and then everything reversed out. And we actually had the nearbys leading the way down at the end of the day yesterday. Well, that's sure not the case today. Here's a look at the feeders where we have the March at 147.30. Hey, we're up $1.75 today, and now you have your April contract almost $2 higher. It's up $1.97 at 149.92. And at one point it was over $2 higher because it's about 20 cents off of our earlier high this morning. And now you have your May contract in there at 150.82, and that is up $1.87 on the day. So big moves here in the feeder cattle trade. If we take a look at our livestock summary from yesterday, we can kind of review some of the cash cattle activity that took place. It was very limited from what I understand. There just wasn't very much action reported across the plains yesterday. And if we take a closer look, it looked like the price was established at 126 per hundredweight, and that was only on sales of about 350 head in Kansas yesterday. The sales were apparently heifers that were sold at that level yesterday. So that would translate into a market that was basically about steady to $2 lower than what we had previously this past week. Otherwise, we did see just a few that had sold in Texas yesterday, but no reported price for confidentiality reasons. Let's take a look at the live hogs yesterday nationwide. They were 7 cents higher if you look at the national level. These are plant delivered, direct plant delivered hogs. They were 7 higher at 49.35 for the weighted average price. And on a carcass basis, yesterday the price was 28 cents higher with a weighted average of 62.89. The carcass cutout values on the hogs yesterday were 79 cents higher. The belly market yesterday on the pork cutouts happened to be about $2.86 higher at 135.34. All right, let's move on to the lean hog futures here this morning, and we'll see how they're performing up to the moment. Right now, we are higher across the board, but not a lot. Nothing like the gains we're seeing here in the cattle market, that's for sure. Right now, you have your nearby April contract trading at 70.20 per hundredweight. So we are 25 cents higher than where we closed yesterday. It's about 40 cents off our earlier low this morning. Now, the May contract has been on both sides of unchanged. We have the May now 30 higher at 76.75, and we have the June now trading 12 cents higher. We're showing a last trade of 82.42. Had a range so far. It's about 40 to 50 cents wide this morning. Kind of a quiet open here on the lean hog trade, but so far holding firm across the complex. So interesting, Christina, as we closed lower all across the board yesterday at the end of the session. Not today, going the other direction, at least for now.
Not today. All right, we'll keep watching that. As
So
you
far.
know, things can change. Thank you, Markets Editor Marlin Bohling.